It's really good.
And now what you're going to see is the really cool stuff about the MeetingOwl is that or did you?
I mean, that's pretty fun.
To restart the video. Yeah.
Okay.
See, it's
The eyes
muted.
aren't on.
Yeah, it's muted up top.
Oh, okay.
No, it's selected. It's
Muted up
yes.
top. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so here comes
So while
the
it's
MeetingOwl
thinking
again.
about what the room looks like, it takes a moment to load. But also, what I can tell you is that we sell it. We're going to be selling an accessory soon that goes in the bottom and holds the cables better.
Tape. So tape's a good one.
Is it, our mics are being picked up here, but that's also picking up our,
That's right.
now why did that go to me? Because I'm speaking.
You're speaking.
That's right.
Yeah, if I talk, it should switch over.
That
pick
came to
me
me
up.
because I'm speaking, it's picked up my audio and says, let's move this.
Same thing with Tom. And if
Go ahead, Tom, speak. Sorry.
You've got my
You did.
microphone, so
Yeah.
now I'm not going to talk. Oh, there we go.
If I speak, it'll pick me up as well.
So it picks up voice within about
Cool.
12-foot radius well, and then it picks up the video. We recommend you sit within 6 feet, and it allows it to get the video cues better, but also kind of spaces you in the video a little more appropriately. The
I gotta
further
tell
away you
the
are, the smaller you're going to look. It
resolution
doesn't
on
have any
this
zoom.
is-
It's really good. And one thing is we've actually got 2 viewers. Let me just see if I can get them into, let's see.
There are 2 folks that are plugged into this.
There are two
There are 2
folks
folks
who you can
remotely
see down
called
the
in right
bottom,
now.
2 viewers who are viewing this. And let me just see, how do I get
So
them?
you set that up or they just did it?
I didn't do that. I'm the hardware.
Maybe members of the ITAC are checking this out, but I think it's really interesting that it flattens the picture out, so it looks like you're sitting. This isn't our usual dig, so we usually have a larger table, so it could be further away from us. We're just
Yeah, it could be.
we're in the
That's right.
town hall auditorium, which is not
Yeah,
our
and it-
typical
So
meeting.
Paul, on the other end,
This is
Amy,
my
on the other
favorite
end, so
party
if
trick.
I'm
It's
I'm
a
dialing in,
continuous image
if I'm
all the
dialing
way
in
around.
remotely, so just explain this to me. If I'm, say we have a board meeting and I'm, and I told Adam that I'm going to spend the next 6 months up at Maine and just dial in.
Right.
Which,
Yes.
this is here and can they see me as well?
If you
On the other
had
side?
your own camera, so let's say you had your laptop
Yeah, my
camera.
laptop camera, right?
That would be
They
sufficient.
could
You
see
don't need
me
another meeting
on
owl.
the
Yep.
screen, it would be a screen set up like this, or they,
That's right.
He's trying to
And their
figure out how to
audio.
do that.
If I'm
with
correct,
this.
their audio would actually come through the speaker on the owl.
Correct.
Right. So the other thing is, I'm just trying to figure out how we can see the people who are dialed in. Just trying to figure
Yeah,
out.
I've never tried using Meet Live like this.
Yeah, okay.
but you're saying this has the
So-
capability, people.
So
Yes.
this is kind of there are a number of problems if you're looking to, so there are clear advantages to having this type of technology for our meetings, which is right now, unless you're on one of the really 3 or maybe 4 major committees that have Belmont cable, you're not going to get on, people are not going to be able to see what happens unless they're in the room where it happens, so to speak. So that would be you guys and school committee and
Warrant
warrant
committee,
committee,
Planning board.
planning
typically,
board,
Maybe
I don't know,
ZBA
capital
perhaps.
budget? I don't know
No,
capital
they're not.
budget.
No, we never.
High school building
No.
committee.
High school
Also.
building
Yeah.
committee these days.
Yeah.
So this is a way to expose a much broader swath of our town government, have a video record of it. So when this finishes, it will be a YouTube video that people can go and view at any time via the IT Advisory Committee YouTube channel, right? So you would have all of these meetings cataloged on YouTube. The challenge is a couple things. One is really just the technical challenge of how do you not everybody is a technology native who are on these committees. So how do you make it easy, simple for them to set this up so they're not fumbling around and wasting time at the beginning of the meeting just trying to get the technology to work. So that's kind of why I liked this particular solution. And I think the other thing is for the people who might be joining remotely, how do you make that experience for them almost like they're at the table or in the room? So it's not just this 13-foot webcam view down on a table. That's just not, that's hard to watch and it's hard to figure out who's talking. So this kind of solves that problem as well. That's kind of why I brought it to you guys and said this might be a really interesting thing to pursue as a town at a fairly low cost, not to advocate for one product over another, but this type of technology, solves a lot of problems at once, I guess.
It's really, it's interesting. And I guess the question would be, how do you archive? You were explaining a bit how to archive, but how's officially, public records law related archiving of these meetings? How would
so
that
any
go?
YouTube video you can download as an MP4 or other video format. So there would need to be some policy of doing that, transferring those videos in some kind of storage medium to town clerk or whomever is in charge of archiving
Town clerk of the year.
town documents. Right. So these would be public records because they're
Of course.
videos of town proceedings. And we would need to have some kind of, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to store them all in MP4, and Ellen's office is going to keep a record of the.
But only those meetings, Paul. I'm assuming that, the chair of that committee, the board, or whatever, decides to, well, I guess, I don't know. I mean, would it be just those committees that decide that they want to have remote participation for their next meeting because there aren't folks that are there? Sort of an initial step, but then perhaps you get to a point where they're always like that.
Yeah, you might pilot it that way, right?
Pilot it that way, and then
Pilot
say
it
this is.
initially giving the existing committee members the opportunity to participate remotely. I think there's also another opportunity to get the community to participate, right? I think it's something, sounds like you've tried your IT advisory committee, but it's something that we might want to do in select cases. I think it's something we have to discuss here. And then maybe the third step is we start doing it consistently as another way to expand open meeting visibility by making it standard for a lot of the secondary
And
committees.
it's sort of, if you imagine, here we had the selectmen's meeting on Monday evening or what have you. Right now, there are a lot of people who actually watch it on Belmont Cable, but imagine also that you could say, hey, here's the link to the meeting we had last night. Check out the conversation at the 23rd minute where we're talking about this, and you can actually even put that in the link, share it on Facebook, share it on Nextdoor, and share it on the town's website, and it just becomes a way to make all of that much more accessible. There are issues around, obviously, open meeting law and whether you want to allow committee members to deliberate remotely, whether you want to, or just allow you don't really need to do anything, just allow the public to participate, because that's just an extension of having an open door.
I think we can. I think there are regulations that would afford us the opportunity to sort of implement this type of remote participation, and that you can deliberate.
And
I
then
think vote.
Right.
I think that's right.
I don't know
think
if you can
we have
vote.
to decide whether or not we want to
Yeah,
permit
we'll have to
voting
look at
or
that.
not.
What's
So that's
that?
a discussion,
I
right?
don't know
I do
if
think
you
it's a
can
question of whether or not we would
No,
want
I
to
mean, if
permit
you're
voting or
deliberating,
not. Or,
right, if you have a quorum and you're deliberating, someone's participating remotely, we have the ability to vote as well.
I'm not sure if they do.
Yeah, okay.
That would be a George Hall question.
Yeah,
But I mean, I know that you have to have a quorum physically present. You can't have everyone in the committee
Can't have a
on.
virtual.
No, I know
Virtual,
that,
right.
yeah, but you could
Yeah.
have others, participate remotely and just
Yeah.
throw their 2 cents and maybe they don't vote. Remember,
And obviously
we got a
you can-
memo on this.
You can leave it up to the chair of the committee to say on a given meeting, do we want to do this? Do we want to stream it? Do we want to just have it be on stream? So, I mean, in some ways
Yeah.
you can leave it up to.
We have to make it available to all committees if we do it, but they don't have to. Each committee can decide whether they want to partake or not. I guess the other question would be, would this impact the ability of the public to speak to us? Or is there any availability of that through this device?
So,
That's on the software side. He's got to figure out how that works.
so yes, all
Yeah,
of
this is
these,
how it works.
and that's what I'm kind of fumbling to do right now.
Because there's one thing, the public, coming down on a Monday night and they want to speak to us under the community comment, section of the agenda. It's one thing to get a babysitter or whatever and have to come down here as a hassle. I understand that. So to make it easier for the public to make their comments to us, provided there was a way to secure it so you don't get, hacked or problems like that, is a little different from one of us not being here and participating remotely.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we generally schedule our meetings together, so it rarely happens that one of us isn't here because we wouldn't schedule the meeting for that day if one of us wasn't going to make it. But
you could have remote participation for office hours.
Right.
that would be an interesting experiment.
Little beta, I
So
think.
on the participation question, I think the short answer is that all of these platforms, including Google Hangouts, even though I'm not utilizing it right now, allow the public to participate, virtually raise their hand, add to speak, to you and hear you, as well as to submit chat and text comments as well. And I know one of the concerns is, well, what if you have trolls, or what if people are on there posting obscene images or whatever? You're letting the internet in. God knows what will happen. What I would say is all of these platforms, including just a free platform like Google Hangouts, give the people running the meeting basically total control over the terms under which people can participate, give you the ability to boot people out of the meeting, mute people, make them invisible. So from the standpoint of controlling what happens during a meeting online, all of these platforms give the person hosting the meeting really total control over that. So that's, obviously a concern anytime you're saying, well, we'll just put it on the internet and let the internet in, but it's a very manageable.
We're down to one viewer. We've lost half our.
So in terms of
No,
cost,
we're back up to two.
the cost would be the initial capital investment, purchasing this. Is it ongoing, is it maintenance? Or
For this device,
software?
there's no subscription required. We actually provide software updates to you. We've done
Okay.
about one per month as we've gone to address bug fixes, but also add enhancements. One of the things is you can use, it has analytics, and you can see how many faces are in the room, and you'd be able to go back. Let's say you set this up in a meeting room and ran meetings, you'd be able to find out the usage just from the device, how many people are attending in the room and such.
Keep track of the committees and see who's.
And you can set that, like you said, I think one of
You
your
make sure
ideas, I
your
heard you
quorums
say,
really
one of
are
the needs
happening.
is that, perhaps you just identify a room within the town, buildings that, which ensure that this device is secure, I guess, whatever, and someone could, or just bring it to the meeting, bring it back. The chair could just bring it and just conduct.
Or someone,
a meeting.
whoever sets up the meeting.
Here's Dave.
Speaking of
Petto.
Dell, hey,
Speaking
there's
of-
Dave Petto,
speaking
our
of IT.
IT guy. So, Dave, you have any comments?
So thank you. I'm Dave Petto, I'm the IT director for the town. It's a great device. And the whole concept is a really neat concept. We need to discuss how we're going to do this and set policy and so forth. I've been talking with Cushman, we've been talking with the attorney of the day at the Public Records Office. There's a number of things we have to work out. First of all, on the technical side, and you can take an MP4 and download it, but it's not considered an archived file. There's a lot of things that you've got to do to make sure that that's not tampered with. For example, our email records. When our email comes into our system, it's automatically sent to our archive first, and it's converted to a file that can't be manipulated in any way. So we can actually go to court with that file, and they will accept that as a record, as an untampered record. So there's an issue with saving these videos. Also, to have the town clerk's office be responsible for maintaining all the video records, I think is got to figure out a different way to do that. Paul's pretty adept at tech, and you see he's had a few little issues here, trying to get I know there's a couple of ITAC numbers in the wrong. I don't know too many committee members or committee chairs that could just sit there, plug in the laptop, and get everything rolling without some assistance. And that's another issue. So again, it's a great thing, great idea, and I'm all for it. I'm all for remote participation. It's, we got to do this thing. This is the 21st century, right?
Exactly.
The only thing is that we've got to work this out and get our policies and procedures in place first, rather than just say, hey, let's do this now.
Well, no, we're not adopting it. Well, first of all, this is just a demo because we talked about this, and Paul had so kindly said that actually we have a Belmont resident involved with this company, which does exactly what we were thinking of doing. So it would be good to do a demo, and then we'll take it from there. And to spark these questions, obviously we have to create a policy first. We're well aware of that. We'd have to run it by council because this is different. Are you aware of other governmental entities that use this for public meetings?
Not necessarily for public meetings, but plenty of public agencies that have purchased. I'll probably get myself in trouble if I list them off.
You don't have to list. I'm just saying for internal meetings,
Yeah.
but not necessarily
page. It engenders a need for policies and citizens where they are online, at work, on their mobile device, on their computers. There's a huge upside for this community in terms of level of engagement, information, knowledge about what's going on. So the some, adjustments that are going to be made, what format is to various committee members. How do we facilitate a technology liaison, whether that would be a Belmont High student or a volunteer from within the community who can come in and help them troubleshoot setting up the OWL if they need that help. Those are all very solvable problems in this big scheme of things, with a very big upside for the community. So I would say, I would say the open meeting laws. I mean, I know because I've looked into it that absolutely at the state level there you're allowed to. I know that the Secretary of State and the AG absolutely support governments going online and having online meetings and allowing online participation, including by committee members. But they also ask towns to make that determination on their own.
Right.
Right. So what I would say is, again, change is hard. Doing things differently is always hard, but there is, I think in this case, and it's been hard on the IT advisory committee to go from having meetings where it's just us in the room, and more or less, unless you're in the room where it happened, everything's more or less confidential, in that there's nobody from the public there. As with you guys, you have the whole town watching every meeting. That's not the case with every committee. It's not an easy transition to say, as Dave would say, I'm going to stream this. We're going to be doing this online, and the public can see and hear every word that we say. That's a difficult adjustment, but I think it's a really important one, and I think it's a really important place for this community to go. And it does bring us into the 21st century. I think the key is, how do we make it accessible, engaging, easy for our committee members to use the technology, and have it be a good experience for everybody, both people in the room and the people online.
It's intriguing. I mean, obviously, we're going to have to think about it and take a comment. And I don't know, anyone else wanted to say anything about it?
I think it's a great technology, and I think we need to, as Alan's come to the mic, I think we need to explore it further, because I think remote participation is absolutely here.
Ellen? Yes.
Hello,
Ellen O'Brien, clerk. The one who does a lot of training, etc., and is the storer of a lot of our records. And so Dave has articulated a couple of other issues, but in reality, the biggest question for the board, exclusively really the board, is, do you want to pursue remote participation? Right. I think the answer I'm seeing, and I think a lot of people will say yes. What's the best method for Belmont, and then how do we make that consistent with the laws that already exist in the Commonwealth? So, and likewise the technology. So I'm not sure that I have the solution yet. I like the OWL. I think it's very cool, but I'm not sure that we're ready quite yet to make that decision. I think you'll as well. So let me know. I'll be happy to participate.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it.
I'd say it's also worth noting the question around remote participation does not necessarily have to turn on the selection of a particular video conferencing product.
Of course.
We could decide remote participation is something we want to enable, and it could be done through standard video voice conferencing mechanisms as well. So they're related topics, but they're not necessarily exactly the same issue.
This is pretty cool.
The video is nice.
No, I agree. I think it's fantastic if we can do it.
Well, the resolution, you can put a face
and
you can put a face to the name and the people or person who's talking. You can actually, the public can see who is making the particular statements, and
I think
that's a really cool thing.
I think we should explore it further. I mean, I certainly get comments from the town clerk and from the Petto,
right,
IT director. I know we have a memo from George Hall at some point about participation, and revisiting that and sort of think about how we can move forward with this. I think it's really, for me, some of the other committees, some of the committees in town, like I referenced, would benefit from being able to have remote participation when you have to arrange so many different schedules. With us, we're generally trying to agree on meeting dates, and probably the same with the school committee and planning board and ZBA, but for some of the other committees in town, the other 61 committees, I think remote participation would be beneficial to us.
Yeah, and if, for instance, a chair or someone couldn't figure it out or was technophobe, they don't have to do it. All we're doing is allowing them the option to participate in this. They don't have to do this video conferencing if they don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just we make it available to us. We have to make it available to everybody.
I really appreciate you guys
Thank you.
making this part of your meeting
No,
and
absolutely.
taking the plunge and allowing Amy.
Nice to meet you.
No, I appreciate it, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank you, Paul.
doing
This
this.
is
And this is great.
Thank you.
Pretty cool presentation.
Turn Hedwig off here and we'll move on to the next
Go ahead,
item.
Rick. I mean, we can name it too.
We can
I
name
like that.
it.
I like that idea.
Okay, bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.
We can find a name for the